Hi everybody and welcome to episode 25 of the Australian Rock Show. My name is Colin Gray from the Rockin' and Rollin' Gray Brothers, and today is Saturday the 27th of June when this show is being recorded. Lost Wax was a popular column that appeared in Vicious Kitten fanzine, which we self-published in the mid-1990s. The idea of the column was to draw attention to long-lost yet largely overlooked albums. We've decided to renew the Lost Wax concept and to make it a feature of the Australian Rock Show, although this time around we will have the artist on board providing both commentary and insight into the album. Who out there remembers the ABC TV series Sea Change from the late 1990s that starred Sigrid Thornton? Do you remember the soundtrack, which featured the very sweet and appealing female vocal? That voice belonged to one Wendy Morrison, who, for a brief moment there in the late 80s and early 90s, was fronting an amazingly underrated and criminally ignored power pop outfit from Melbourne called the Shivers. The Shivers had all the ingredients for success: a well-credentialed band with a pedigree that included members who'd been in bands like the Saints and the Stems, catchy, melodic and original pop songs, and in Morrison, an attractive front woman with a very likeable voice. Mushroom Records recognised the band's potential and signed them up, yet despite releasing some very catchy singles and then the debut album, the band never broke through. The industry, media and audience response to the Shivers was lukewarm, which I just didn't get. Every time I saw them, they were exceptional live, and I really thought they would have made it. My pal Bruce hipped me to the Shivers early on in their career, and I remember first seeing them with him one wet Thursday night at Sydney's Annandale Hotel. Bruce was pals with the band's bass player Archie Laritza, who'd been in The Noise, The Innocents and, of course, The Saints. And Arch, as well as the band's guitar player Don Eli and also Wendy Morrison, all had a knack for writing melodic, hard-edged pop songs. The prospects for the Shivers looked bright, yet for whatever reason, lack of label, media or industry support, the singles and album came and went. The singles were great. Wash Away, Baby Says, in fact all 12 tunes on Big Love, the band's debut album, were first rate. So today I thought we'd dust off the album and have guitarist Don Eli provide some commentary and his memories of the Big Love album. Yet, before we get Don on the line, let's get the process started by playing the first tune off the album. This is the Shivers with Baby Says. Hi Don, and welcome to the Australian Rock Show. Mate, today we are putting the spotlight on the Big Love album and revisiting many of the songs on that album. For many listeners, it will be the first time that they've heard the album, yet with so many classic pop songs on that album, I thought it was a time, well overdue time, that it was dusted off and heard by fresh ears. It's hard to believe that it's 25 years since that album was released, but I think the songs have aged incredibly well and they've endured and they still sound relevant. Do you agree with that?
Yes, I think, we recorded the songs fairly naturally. There wasn't any gimmicks in the sound as far as drum machines so it was just really a live band playing, and the way it was mixed and recorded was fairly natural as well. It didn't have the big 80s drum sound or any of that kind of thing. So I think in that way, it hasn't aged really that much since, and it is 25 years, and it's amazing how quickly it's gone.
If we can start off with just a little bit of history, just to get things rolling, how did the Shivers get together? Was the band put together by Julian Matthews and Dave Shaw?
No.
No, it wasn't? No,
it wasn't. It was really, Wendy and I were a songwriting partnership, and, based in Melbourne, in St Kilda actually. And we saw Concrete Blonde play, and also the guys from Split Ends play. And we were kind of inspired by this, the kind of 60s style songwriting a bit, and we realised that we could actually kind of write together. So Wendy used to write a lot of songs on the piano, and I'm a guitar player, and we kind of realised that we could, I could kind of convert her songs over to the guitar, and then that kind of worked. So we made a demo at a place called World Records in Richmond, And Triple R Radio here in Melbourne had a demo show, and we handed it in, and they played it, and they really liked it. They asked us in for an interview, so Wendy and I went in, and at this stage was still a duo. A guy from Premier Artists rang up and said he really liked the sound of it and wanted to meet us. So that's how we kind of got involved with Mushroom. And then, I used some friends to record the demo, drummer, bass player, etc., and a piano player. But they weren't. It wasn't a band. It was really just the two of us, and we were just starting out, really, And we kind of were trying to get a band together because Mushroom wanted a band. But then it turned out that not long before that, the Stems had split up. And talking to the guys in Mushroom, they knew these guys from the Stems, and they put us together with them. And then then we started working with those guys. So. And also Archie Laritza from the Saints, who was kind of touring off and on with the Saints at the time. So that kind of put that team together, which led to this album. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, thanks for filling in those gaps.
Yeah.
We just heard the first single and first song on the album. Look, I think that first tune is just a great way to open, straight out of the blocks. Baby Says is a phenomenal track, and it's quite often the one track that people associate with the band. Written by yourself and Wendy, she really pushed herself vocally on some high vocals there. What's the story behind that tune?
Well, Wendy initiated the track. She wrote the lyrics. I think it's the story where she. So I think she wrote it on the piano, and then I kind of, converted to the guitar and then kind of used my guitar licks to kind of give it that more guitar-y sound. And the band jammed it, and it kind of ended up what how it turned out, which is pretty original. It's a fairly original song, I think. It's got a bit of a 60s kind of vibe to it, but it's also pretty out there as well, especially with the low rig. It's kind of trippy.
And that was the first single off the album, correct?
I think so. It's a long time ago, but
it is a long time.
I think it was the first song off the. Actually, I'm just remembering we actually released, I think, a single or two before the album came out. So, but I think it was the first single off the album. Yeah.
Okay, and that got some good airplay.
It got we never went mega, so. But we got we got fairly healthy airplay. We got a lot of triple J airplay, triple R, and a bit of a little bit of Fox and whatever, triple M or whatever it was then. Yeah. So no, it did go mega, but yeah, we got it. I probably kill for that kind of airplay now. So.
Well, it's different time. I think it's apples.
There, yeah.
It's apples and oranges now. But look, let's go to the second tune on the album, which is "Not in Love," which I guess is a more melancholy sort of theme tune. But musically, there's a lot going on here. Is there strings in there, or is that synthesizer on that tune?
I can't really remember. We did use strings on one of the tracks, the Big Ballad. So there could have been a bit of strings put onto that one as well. I can't remember. It's very very jangly kind of song is how I describe it.
And again, multi-layered harmonies, which I guess a feature on many of the songs on that album.
Yes, that's right. Well, Archie, for instance, was a very good harmony singer. He was a bass player from the Saints, and his voice and Wendy's voice blended really well. And I think Wendy even did some of her own harmonies as well. So, because she's a very good harmony singer as well, actually.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's take a listen to "Not in Love" and listen out for the solo here. It's really tasteful.